Hey guys, so today's video is about how to make tofu. We're actually going to do tofu in a slightly different way, one way that we haven't tried, so I'm not fully comfortable with it, but we're going to experiment with one block, and then the other block I'm going to do on something that I'm a little bit more comfortable with. We're going to do the tofu, we're going to mix it with some sweet potatoes, just because I know a lot of people are not comfortable or they're not commonly eating sweet, purple potatoes. And then we also have a quick mix salad just to finish up the meal. But when it comes to tofu, a lot of people overthink it. Most people don't know how to cook tofu, what it tastes like. It's actually really tasty. So the first thing that you do with tofu is you press it to get the water out. The more water out of it you get, the drier it can be, but also the more flavor it's gonna absorb. So very cool. You can come over here and look. Basically, I just kind of puncture the package, and what you want to do is you want to obviously get the water from the package out, right? And then I just kind of like press a little bit. Once I do that, then I want to put it in a plate, just like this, okay? And then you want to put another napkin on top. I'll show you guys why, because we're wanting to dry it, right? And you want to add some weight on top. And it'll be a little bit more than the weight that I just put on the plates. So we're gonna let that sit there for about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes roughly. Once we do that, then we'll go ahead and marinate it and add seasonings to it. The other thing with the potatoes, I actually haven't washed these, but basically once, actually I'm gonna go ahead and wash them, and then we'll go on to the next one where we'll do, I'll cut them, I'll marinate and cut, and I'll get the salad fixed, and then we'll go on with it. Go ahead and get that going. Usually basically you can see how it's all wet, which is exactly what we wanted. So we're gonna cut that up in a second. Before I get ahead of myself, I already started cutting some of the sweet potato, the purple potatoes, so you guys can see it. However, very simple. If you've never cut sweet potatoes before, take the edge out. I personally don't peel them because I think there's a lot of nutrients in the peel. But yep, you just cut them up, slice them up, whatever, and then you can bake them, saute them, treat them just like your regular potatoes, honestly. This is the easiest way of doing it, and my favorite, most simple way, but you can also cube them. Just takes a little bit longer. Anyways, these guys will go in the oven. So, using coconut oil spray here. And what I'll do is I'll basically just lay them all out. And then put them in around 350, 375. I usually can tell that the sweet potatoes are done because, or the purple potatoes, because they'll start to kind of like get all of the sugars out, and then you'll see how it kind of bubbles and stuff. I'll show you guys, but anyways, these will go in the oven right now. And literally just put them like that. If you want to add cinnamon on top, you can. Completely up to you. Now these little guys, I'm gonna do it in the air fryer. The air fryer, if you've never used it, you're missing out. Literally, there's nothing but the coconut oil spray that I put in there. And I'm throwing all of these little guys in there. And we'll also do tofu that way. So this one, I'll throw in a little bit of cinnamon. And mix them up, shake them up. That will come in and put it frying, and I'll probably do this for about 17 or so minutes maybe, and that's good to go. Now tofu time, different ways of cutting it. This little guy right here, I'm gonna cut in smaller cubes. So 1, 2, I'll do this right here, and then so that's kind of what we're playing with, right? So I'm gonna grab, actually, for the one that we're doing coconut flour, I'm gonna put some seasonings down. This seasoning right here, let me show you guys, is 21 Seasonings by Trader Joe's. I'm also gonna add some Himalayan pink salt to my quote-unquote batter, or whatever you want to call it. And then I'm gonna use coconut flour, any brand works, just make sure it's organic basically, just so I can kind of put them in there. So anyways, got that going. Trying to show you guys every bit of it, that way you guys understand how easy and quick it is to do tofu and how yummy it can taste. So now that we have that there, we'll literally just, you know, do a few at a time. My thing is make it quick. You don't want to spend 3 hours in the kitchen. And once again, this is something that takes a little bit more time if you do it this way versus the other way that I'm about to show you guys. So this is ready right here. Okay, and once again, this will go in the air fryer. We've never done them this particular way with the coconut flour and stuff in the air fryer. So they should turn out really good actually. Another thing, the longer you let these little guys sit with the seasoning, the more flavor they're going to absorb. That's just how that works. If you were to do them in the morning and you're gonna cook them at night, you're gonna have very flavorful tofu, very tasty. Also, you can eat it raw. It's a different texture, it tastes perfectly fine. They actually do not need to be cooked. Now, I'm gonna need this plate to be dry. Then the other block that I'm gonna use, I'm gonna cut it, let's see, I'm gonna saute it. So I'm gonna do this right here. I'm gonna slice it because I want these cubes to be smaller. And not small enough to where they break, which maybe I did them a little too small, but okay. And then I'm gonna use this particular plate right here, and this particular one I'm gonna saute, and I'm gonna do in a an Asian seasoning. So this will resemble probably something that you can't get at the restaurant. So I'm gonna use Chinese 5-spice blend. I get this at Kroger. You can see them just about anywhere. They're by McCormick. So I'm gonna put some of this in there, and I'll move them around in a second. And no Asian food is good without soy sauce. So there goes some soy sauce. And then once again, just move them around a little bit. And if you want to make the flavor stronger, then obviously you add a little bit more seasoning. It's really tasty. Then now we go on to saute. So same thing. And here's the thing. You can always use more oil. You can actually use coconut oil as opposed to spray, or macadamia oil if you want something a little bit more nutty. This to me is just so simple, and I'm trying to keep my fats at a certain level right now just because of my carbohydrate intake. So being on the higher end. So yeah, just play with whatever your goals are, So anyways, this will be sauteed. Probably a medium-high heat, and then I'll just kind of play it by ear. Then lastly, before we cut this part of the video off, it's gonna be the salad. I'm using this little guy just for tonight. It's just a blend of different veggies and stuff. And it usually comes as a kit. If my hands weren't wet, I'll be able to open it. Do you even lift? Alright, so there's that. And I'll tell you guys what I do with the dressing. Usually I try not to use a lot of the dressing. Like I usually go for half of the dressing if I'm not like dieting, just because they're normally not the most fat loss friendly recipes, for lack of a better word. Ashlyn likes a little bit more dressing, so There's half, and then that half I normally keep it for her. That way she can add it as she wants to. If not, you can add it to your meals later on throughout the week. But anyways, we had the salad going. The sweet potatoes or purple potatoes are in the oven. Those will be ready in about probably 20 minutes or so at 375. And then the air fryer will be, there's the salad. The air fryer will be done in about 12 minutes. And then I'm gonna get to sauteing. I'll show you guys in a second. All right, guys. So tofu being sauteed is done. You can tell it's just dark on some sides it's a little softer. Super tasty. You can make it firmer if you make it drier also. Then another thing that it's done is gonna be your sweet potatoes, purple potatoes. And this, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put them in there, because now we're going in for the main part of the video, the tofu. For the tofu, I'm literally just, you don't want to like crowd it tremendously, just because of the fact that you want the air to be able to circulate. That's how it cooks. However, and the crispier it'll get too. However, you do want to put some in there just for time's sake. And I'm sure if I was patient enough and I stood them up, I could probably fit a little bit more. But anyways, so there goes to that. And then one of the things right quick that I did is I had some purple potatoes left over, and I actually added them to the same exact thing that I did with the tofu. So these are going in, same thing, frying. I'm gonna do probably about 12 minutes on these little guys, just because, actually I'm gonna do 15. Extra crispy. Why not? Start it. And I'll come back with the last part of the video where I just kind of put everything together into a dish and show you guys what this turns out. Okay, so this is the last part of the video. The tofu is pretty much just ready, just for presentation purposes. I'm not the best at presenting, but I'm just gonna put some stuff together in the plate. And for now, it'll look like that. We are going to get the purple potatoes out of the oven. And this is how you know that, watch out, Zina. Go. This is how you know that they are ready, because they're really just, I mean, they're just awesome. They're just getting stuff out. So anyways, we are gonna grab a couple of these little guys, and I'm just gonna show you guys. The meal's about to be done, and we're gonna grab some of the salad. And if you want to make it look pretty, then all you have to do is just kind of like overlap stuff, you know, make it look cool. You can also do a salad bed and then put the stuff on top, but that's basically the final dish. Super tasty tofu. And once again, it's all about colors too, so I'm about to put this one in the air fryer, but this is pretty much what we have. So to sum it up, today we did the tofu and in the Asian style, and then we also did this one with the coconut flour, as well as purple potatoes in the air fryer, and the salad. Super easy to do tofu. So you guys, if you haven't tried it, give it a try.